Hi everyone, this is Kaye Cruz coming back with another video. Before I start the video, I'm going to give all praise to the Almighty Creator, my Creator, the Creator of all creations. Thank you to all the new subscribers, especially on my backup channel. Continue to subscribe to both of my channels. Hit the notification bell so you receive all of your alerts and notifications, and you won't fall too far behind. The PayPal donation link is still there at your request. Make a donation to my channel. My channel is struggling and it do need your help. If you want to make a donation, just not through PayPal, you can send it to my P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 602134, Cleveland, Ohio 44102. Ra Ashe, Deride, Jamuka, Nilai, Zabura, Osazay. Okay, let's get into this video. I'm trying to hurry up because I have a lot to cover. I'm going to be talking some more about the blood. And if you have a problem with it, just get away from my channel. You know, I really can't stand when people that's not making any donations at all is trying to tell me what to talk about on my channel. Why don't you start your own channel and talk about whatever you want to talk about? And if you do start your own channel, instead of you trying to really show people things, you will probably start a channel and just talk negative about me, because you're too ignorant to start a channel and actually talk about things that people really want to hear about and need to learn about. So if you're sick of hearing about this, just get away from me. So let me go ahead and just get into this video right now. We're still talking about the blood, because I believe the truth is in the blood. Now let's go through the different type of blood types real fast, because a lot of you didn't even know. We have A, B, AB, and O. The plus means positive. So for example, this will be A positive, and this will be A negative. See, the plus, positive, the minus is negative, okay? We also have RH positive and negative as well. Now, I've still been searching this blood, and I've come up with a lot of interesting studies. The information is all over the place, and it's a lot of disinformation, which means a lie. This is when opening your third eye, which simply means heightening your conscious level. Having a higher conscious level will come in, because you'll know exactly what's true and what's not, because the information is all over the place. For example, on YouTube, they say the RH negative blood is the Reese's blood. I don't believe that, because if you're really talking truth on YouTube, they'll shut you down. So I don't believe that. Now, doing recent research, it says that the O blood is the Reese's blood. You understand? How could they both be? And if they both are, why don't you have people saying that the O blood is the Reese's blood, such as the RH negative blood? They don't say that. So you see, they're trying to confuse people with these lies. But I don't believe that the RH negative blood is the Reese's monkey blood. That's just my own personal opinion. Okay, so let's go. Now, as I was researching the RH negative blood, Hitler came up. Remember when Hitler was rounding up all them people and killing them allegedly? And I'm saying that because history shows that that could not have even happened. But if it didn't happen, why would they even put a story out like that? It goes back to this blood, okay? They're talking about this bloodline. Now, it said that Hitler was rounding up all the RH negative people, and most of them were Jews. So that's why it seemed like he was rounding up Jews, but he was really rounding up the RH negative people. Now, the information said that he was rounding up the RH negative people because they showed a very high intelligence level, and he knew that he wouldn't be able to rule those people because of their high intelligence. Now, I don't know about that, because the RH negative people that I know, they lack intelligence. Now, if I've talked to you and you're RH negative, don't take offense to this, because I'm just telling you what I've come up with. The RH negative people that I know, they lack intelligence. They're the type of people to do everything backwards. They lie a lot. They don't really care about anybody except themselves. They're just, from what I see, they're bad people. Maybe good for you if you don't mind a liar, a cheater, and so on and so forth. But to me, that's a bad person. But a lot of people don't care about that type of stuff. And the RH negative people that I come across, or have come across, or is still in contact with, they're not people that are high intelligent people at all. Now, one thing I noticed about them, they're spiritual. They know a lot about spirituality. So maybe he was rounding them up because they had a lot of spiritual knowledge. I don't know, but I did find that. So now let's keep going. Also, looking into the RH negative people, they're not human. They're not bloodline to the human race. other blood types. Blood types is like A, B, and O. This is a blood type. Bloodline is like the Anunnakians. That's a bloodline. The Naga, like the Naga serpent, that's a bloodline. The reptilian, that's a bloodline. Okay, so bloodlines are types of people, like tribes of people, like I talked about in my last video when I was talking about the Scandinavian tribe. That would be a bloodline. When I was talking about the tribe of Cain, that's a bloodline. So the bloodline and the blood types are different. What I know about the Rh negative blood types, they're not very intelligent people, but they are pretty spiritual. And going back, tracing their bloodline, they go back to the Anunnakians. And the Anunnakians go back to descents of heaven. That's what I found. Now, I looked at the Anunnakians, and they're not human people. So I'm going to show you some pictures of what I came up with, but you do your own research. Put in Anunnaki and see what shows up. They're not human. They look more serpent. They look more reptilian-like, snake-like. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. Now, this is a photo that popped up about the Anunnaki people, and as you can see, this, look at the face, that's like a reptilian serpent bloodline. Nothing about this picture here looks human. And if you just scroll through all the Anunnaki bloodline, you can see that these are not human people. You understand? So something else that I noticed about the Rh negative people, they have the opposite bodies. Okay, they have the opposite bodies. The Rh negative people, the women all have straight shoulders. Okay, they have straight shoulders like the men, and the men have slant shoulders like the women. If you know my human anatomy videos, you know what I'm talking about. They have the opposite bodies because they're not human, okay? You cannot expect them to have the anatomy of a human body if they're not within the human race. You understand? Now, if you paid attention to me and you know my channels, in the beginning I was calling them transgender because I thought that's what they were. I called them demon and I called them transgender, the people in the TV. Then because I have a whole channel called Kaye Cruz exposing transgenders and creatures, or whatever I said it was, but they locked me out of that channel. I can't change nothing. But I was saying that they were demon and they were transgender because I thought they were. From there, I started saying they're clones. They're clones, and they are clones. They're clones from their ancient ancestors. They're not real at all. They are clones, but what are they a clone of? We were saying that they were clones of human, but because they were clones, that's why they had the opposite body. Well, now I understand that they are clones, but they're clones from some other race of being. That's the reason why they look the way they do. That's the reason why they look reptilian-like, they look serpent-like, they look feline-like. I said that in another video when I was saying that the people in Hollywood are clones of the ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses. But long story short, they're not human people, and they're not from a human bloodline. So the Rh negative people that I know right now, those people have opposite bodies. The men have the slant shoulders and the women have the square shoulders. Now, I skipped over a part. I was saying that I started out saying that they were transgender. Then I started saying they were clones, which they are. Now, they're not just transgender or just clones. I don't think they're transgender at all. They look transgender because that's the way the bodies of whatever they're clones of looked. That's the reason why they have the opposite bodies, because we're comparing their body to the human anatomy chart, but they're not from a human descent. They're not from the human bloodline, so that's why they look different. Now, don't get happy like, oh, my favorite celebrity is not a transgender. They're worse, okay? Don't get happy and say, oh, they're not just a clone. They're worse, okay? Those people inside the TV are clones from some other being, some other species, some other creature, you understand? And they're also hybrids because their face is not supposed supposed to look like that. If you look at the picture that I just pulled up of the Anunnakians, their face didn't look like ours. Their face looked serpent-like. Their bodies didn't look like ours. Their bodies looked like the bodies of a, I can't describe it, but they don't have the body shape or the body type of a human. That's the reason why their bodies are not shaped like ours. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the people that's among us. Okay, the people that's among us that have gone through different types of cloning processes, such as in vitro, fertility treatments and things of that nature. I don't know what they're putting inside those people, but if a human person, and you know what, most of the people that I know that go to get fertility treatment, in vitro treatment, those are not people from the human bloodline. Because thinking about it, the women that I know that had that process done, they're women that have the square shoulders and the square jawline like a man. So the people that's going in having that process done, those are not human people, no ways. So maybe that's the reason why their children come out looking opposite body. Most of the clone people that I'm calling clone, the in vitro people, the tube baby, the people that's been through in vitro process, some type of in vitro treatment, the girls come out with those straight shoulders like a man, and the boys come out with those slant shoulders like a woman. That's because they're not human. And maybe that's why it's so hard for them to procreate. It's so hard for them to get pregnant. It's hard for them to mate, which means make children, because they're not human. Now, another search that I done, another research study shows that the human race was the only race that could actually procreate, like get pregnant and have children. The other races could not do that, from what I'm hearing. Not the other races, the other bloodline. I said the other races, not the other races, the other bloodlines, the other species, like the reptilian people, the Anunnakians. I'm just putting a name out there for example, but I researched that the human race is the only race of people that could actually do what we do, which is get pregnant and give birth. The other races can't. Well, I keep saying races, but not races. The other entities, the other species. So maybe that's another reason why they go in and they have to have fertility treatment. Maybe that's the reason why they have to go through in vitro and so on and so forth, because they're not human, so they can't procreate like we can. Also, as I was researching, I also found that they study us. The other entities, other species, they like to study human people because we are magnificent to them, because of the way we can procreate and they can't. Don't leave me messages telling my animals can procreate. Animals and species are completely different. I'm talking about other beings that walk this planet, not animals. People keep telling my animals this, animals that. They're not animals. These other entities that live, that walk the earth once upon a time, they're not in the animal they're not in the animal range. Okay, that's different. These are species, these are beings. They're not human beings, but these are beings that walk this planet once upon a time. They're not animals. Okay, so don't leave me no messages like that. But I'm still in the middle of doing this search, and I'm gonna figure this out. But those people are not clones of human people. That's the reason why they have the opposite bodies. On the next video, I'm going to pull up the human anatomy chart again. I just assume that you all have seen it if you're familiar with my channel. But as I'm comparing their bodies to the human anatomy body chart, and I'm saying that they're clones and they're transgenders, well, actually, they're another species. That's the reason why their bodies are opposite like that, because I'm looking at a human anatomy chart and they're not human. That's the reason why. Okay, that's what I've come up with. I'm going to stop the video now because I'm coming up on a 15-minute mark. I'm going to continue to work on this because I got to know. I got to know exactly what's going on. Make a donation to my channel. My channel do need the support before you leave. I'll see you on the next video, and see you later, alligators, chimneynuts. Hi everyone, this is Kaye Cruz coming back with another video. Before I get into this video, I'm going to give all praise to the Almighty Creator, my Creator, the Creator of all creations. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I got a lot just since my very last video, which was less than an hour. Thank you, especially the people that subscribe into my backup channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you receive all of your alerts and notifications and you won't fall too far behind. I do still have the PayPal donation link at your request. Make a donation to my channel. My channel is struggling and it does need your support. If you want to make a donation, just not through PayPal, you can send it to my P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 602134, Cleveland, Ohio 44102. Ra Ashe, Deride, Jamuka, Nilai, Zobora, Osase. Okay, let's go. I gotta hurry up. I kind of ran out of time on my last video, which was titled something like Hitler was rounding up and killing off the Rh negative people, something like that. I ran out of time, so I want to go ahead and continue it and start from here. So let's go, because I don't have a lot of time, just 15 minutes. Now, I just want to say to the people who keep saying that they're sick of hearing about this, look, I'm on to something. I'm going to get into this blood because the secret lies within the blood. So if you don't like it, you should probably just leave. And I can't help but notice the people that keep complaining about what I'm talking about have not made no donations and they're not helping do anything, but they're trying to tell me what to talk about on my channel. So let's go. Right here, right now, I want to talk about the traits of the Rh negative people. And I think that it's very important that I talk about this because I said in my last video that the Rh negative people are not bloodlined back to the human race of being human beings with a soul. Okay, I said that. And one of the reasons why I think so many people are having so many problems in this world is because they've mixed things up. They've mixed human with other type of species, other beings, and that's the reason why you have so many problems, because you've mixed the bloodlines. And not just mixing the bloodline, like mixing the human bloodline with another type of human bloodline, you've actually mixed the human bloodline with the bloodline of entities or species that are not even human beings. And I think that's where a lot of the problems are coming in at. So let's talk about the Rh negative people, the traits of the Rh negative people. Now, the Rh negative people that I know, don't go crazy on me and come for me and tell me I don't do that. Well, I don't know you. I'm talking about the people that I know. The Rh negative people that I know, they seem to be really confused. They seem to be really lost. They do a lot of things what I consider to be backward. They do backward things and they think backward, and they never seem to know why they do the things that they do. Now, think about this. You can't expect someone that's non-human to act like a human and talk like a human and behave like a human and have human instincts, because they're not human. So one person that I know that's Rh negative a person, they lie a lot. Like it's natural. What people are calling narcissist and deranged and crazy, it could be a certain bloodline, and that bloodline could not be human. So this is one of the reasons why these people act like this. Now, one person that I know that's Rh negative, and he's not from the United States, he lies about everything. Okay, let me just give you an example. We made an arrangement once for him to do something. He don't have his license to drive in the United States. Of course I do. So we were going to go somewhere, like we planned a trip. He was supposed to do the gas and I was supposed to do the driving. And this is in and out of state, like across country. He did not do the gas. He just decided he didn't want to. Now, let's just think about this. If I didn't have the gas money, we could have ended up stranded on the side of the road. Now, who would think that a person would do something like that? I didn't think to tell him, give me your gas money up front before we even planned this trip, because who would think somebody would tell a lie like that? So once we got out and got on the road and it was time for me to fill the tank up again, I'm asking him for the gas money. He don't have it. He ain't going to do it. And I'm just kind of looking at him like, what? Thank God that I, plan ahead. I had the gas money myself. But just imagine how we could have ended up stuck and stranded with this person making an arrangement, making an agreement to do the gas because I'm doing the transportation, and then someone else was doing the food, and then someone else did the planning, you know, etc., etc. They decided they just didn't want to do it. So I kept asking him, like, why did you do that? He kept saying, I don't know. And I said, but why would you tell me you're going to do the gas? That's going to be your contribute to this. And then we get out here in the middle of nowhere. You decide you don't want to do it. He kept saying, I don't know. I don't know. And I kept looking at him thinking, how come you don't know why you just told a bald-faced lie like that? Okay, so that's one person. A lot of RH negative people that I know are like men who beat their women. And you'll ask them, like, why do you beat her? If you don't like her, why don't you just leave her? Why do you beat her? I don't know. I don't know. RH negative women are the type of women that be in a relationship with a man that's beating them and torturing them. And you'll ask them, why do you stay? Why don't you leave? I don't know. I don't know. It's like, it's a lot of I don't know. I don't know. Like they do crazy stuff and they just don't have no clue as to why they're doing the things that they're doing. I was talking to another RH negative person and they just said something crazy out the blue. And I asked them, why did you do that? And he was like, I don't know. I don't know. And I kept saying, well, you know, think about it. What made you say that just now? And then he hung up the phone. He actually hung up because he just didn't know. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. So he just hung up the phone. Now, long story short, these RH negative people, they do a lot of things that I consider to be bad and backward, and they never know why they do it. They just don't know. They can't understand it themselves. They just did it and they have no clue as to why they done the things that they done. Now, don't come for me. I can already see somebody that's saying, well, I know somebody that's a O blood type and they do that. They don't have nothing to do with the RH. Look, I don't know those people. I'm talking about people that I know, and I'm tracing this RH negative bloodline, and I'm trying to figure this out. Now, I've come to the conclusion that the RH negative bloodline is not of the human descent. Okay, they're not human bloodline people. Originally, they were not humans. I showed the picture on the video that I did just before this one, okay? Now, the reason why I think these RH negative people do these things is because they're not human. They're not bloodline back to human people. This is the reason why they do these types of things that just don't make no sense. And they don't know why they're doing it. You can't figure out why they're doing it. So you mark them as a narcissist, or you say things like, this is a bad person, this is a crazy person, this is a deranged lunatic. Well, maybe their bloodline back to something that is not even human. That's the reason why they do inhuman things that us humans don't understand, because they're not human people. So now let's just move on from here. The next thing I want to talk about are Freemasons. Now, I know a lot of people that are involved in Masonry. Some of those people talk to me and they tell me things. One thing that I've learned about people involved in Masonry, they recruit certain bloodlines. Now, you may ask, why do they recruit certain bloodlines? People that's involved in Masonry have said they go for certain bloodlines because they know that those bloodlines can be controlled. They know that those bloodlines can be manipulated. They know that if they target these people that are in this bloodline, that they're more than likely to say yes, and they're more than likely to be able to control those people and get them to do all these crazy things. Now, you know, a lot of the people inside the TV that we're calling reptilians, like the presidents, the government officials, the high-ups, the police officers, we call them reptilians. What are reptilians? Non-human. So this could be the reason why it's so easy for certain bloodlines to be destructive and kill and create chaos, because they're not within the human race. Now, remember, I kept saying they were clone this and clone that. And that's why they're acting the way they're acting, because they're clones. They're not human. Well, that could be so too. But now that I'm getting into the blood, I'm learning that certain bloodlines are not even human people. So this is more than likely why they're doing the things that they're doing, because they're not human. They're not going to care about killing someone. They're not going to care about poisoning the food. They're not going to care about sacrificing someone's newborn, because these are not human people. This is why they do things that are inhuman. It will only make sense for an organization like Masonry or some other secret order, secret foundation, to secret society, to actually target certain bloodlines if they know that this bloodline is not the bloodline of the human people, and we can 9 times out of 10 get them to do these things. Now, there was a woman that was doing an interview about her husband being in the Illuminati, which I don't believe in. I don't believe the Illuminati. I think it's something else. It's a secret society like Masonry or something like that. But she was saying that her husband was in the Illuminati and he was chipped. You know what the chip is. We already know that on this channel. And she was saying that he was a colonel. And in order for you to be a colonel in the military, they don't pick black people. You have to be anything other than black. Most of the colonels in the military are blonde haired and blue eyes. And we talked about the blonde hair and the blue eyes. What are those? They're tribe of Scandinavian. Okay. So when these military government secret societies target certain types of people, they know what they're doing. And I remember that woman also said in that interview that they won't even put a black person in those high positions because black people are more so on the good side. Black people are not going to be corrupt like that. It's really hard for a black person to slaughter the way those men do and be corrupt the way those men are. And maybe that's because the people that they're choosing for those positions are not human people. They're bloodline back to something else. You understand? The power is in the blood. The truth is in the blood. So I'm going to continue to talk about this bloodline because I'm on to something. Me, for example, no one's ever asked me to be involved in Masonry. Why is that? That's because I'm bloodline to the human people. And they know 9 times out of 10, my bloodline is not going to do that. I'm not going to sacrifice a child. I'm not going to participate in a sex ritual with men and women. I'm not going to have anal sex and be sodomized. You understand? I'm not going to be poisoning the water and killing innocent people. You understand? I wouldn't do that. So they target certain people that they know 9 times out of 10 will be corrupt and chaotic. Now, don't get me wrong. Some black people can be corrupted, but who knows what those people are? Who knows what their bloodline really goes back to? Because just because your skin is black don't mean, you know, you're human and you're a child of the Almighty Creator. Your skin could be black and you could still be something else. I'm just putting that out there because I don't want people thinking that if you're black, you're good and you're human and you're a child of the Almighty Creator. But then, you know, the RH negative people, the reptilian people, those are other colored people. No, it's not like that. I really don't think it matters when it comes to the color because it's been all mixed up anyways. So I just wanted to put that out there about these traits of the RH negative people because I noticed that they're more corrupt. They're more easily to be corrupted. I noticed that about that bloodline. And the bloodline doesn't even go back to human descent. So you can't blame them for not doing human-like things if they're not even human people. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now because I see that I'm coming up on the 15-minute mark. So go ahead and make your donations before you leave this channel. You know my channel is struggling. I say it in every single video, and I'm going to continue to say it until I get what I need, and I need stuff. So go ahead and make a donation to my channel. My channel is struggling. It needs the support. And also, I'm not happy with YouTube. You know my ultimate goal is to get off YouTube and get my own website. I don't like YouTube at all. A lot of people on YouTube have a website where they can do videos on their website, but they keep coming back to YouTube. That's probably because they have some type of contract or there's some type of paid shield for YouTube, so they can't leave. I'm not involved with nothing. I can get the hell up off here. So make sure you make a donation to me, because I have things that I need to do. And one of them is to get the hell up off YouTube, because it's not a fair company. It's not a fair website. And I need to get the hell away from them. I'm real. And real people like me don't even need to be here. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. I'll see you on the next video. And see you later, alligators. Chuminat.